Welcome to the Center for the Study of Race and Democracies 2022 Virtual Community Resource Fair. My name is Catherine DeRoe. I am a Global Studies and German major at Arizona State University, and I'm an intern at the CSRD this semester. Can you please state clearly your name, your organization's name, and your title within the organization?
Yes, thank you. My name is Anna Simeon, and I'm Fundraising Campaigns Director at RAVEN. And RAVEN stands for Respecting Aboriginal Values and Environmental Needs.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about your organization's mission?
So our organization is quite young. It's been 40 years in existence, and our sole mission is to raise legal defense funds for Indigenous nations that wish to use the Canadian court system to enforce their rights and title, their treaty rights, and protect their lands against unwanted industrial development.
Awesome. And so what kind of work does your organization do? And with what community organization or community groups does your organization do that work with?
So we work directly with Indigenous nations. We sign an agreement with each of them when they apply to us for support. The whole process is initiated by nations who wish to have funding support from RAVEN. They apply to us, and our advisory panel composed of Indigenous lawyers looks at their application and then recommends to the board whether it should be taken on or not. We can't take every case and every application. Legal cases are sometimes take a long time. They can take a decade or more. So we work directly with these nations, and right now those nations include Beaver Lake Cree Nation in Alberta, Haltech Nation, Kekatla Nation, and Secwepemc Nation in British Columbia, and Nishnawntaka Nation in Ontario, and a few others whose cases are we're waiting on. Wet'suwet'en Nation also in BC. And in the past, we have worked in the Yukon as well with Cree Nations in the Peel region, and we are constantly receiving new applications for support. So basically what we do, because we don't have any endowment funds, all we do is run fundraising campaigns for these nations, and that allows the Canadian public to actually support reconciliation through donating and sharing their wealth.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. That was really comprehensive and a great explanation. How did you personally get involved with RAVEN?
Well, I've been with RAVEN for 6 years now, and before that I was the Peace Valley campaigner with the Sierra Club. Peace Valley is an area in northern BC that had a humongous dam proposal that would have flooded Indigenous lands, and I worked closely with West Mobility First Nation there as a campaigner, and so that was kind of my on the ground, on the job education in Indigenous rights and what it means to be an Indigenous person in Canada and all the levels of oppression that entails. And then when the RAVEN position became open, and RAVEN was also working with West Mobility at the time, still working with West Mobility. I just transitioned into that role, and it has been really rewarding.
Awesome. So you talked a little bit about one case that you got involved with, but by any chance, would you be able to speak about another important case that you got involved with, and I guess what the impact that your organization had with that?
Well, maybe our biggest case so far has been the so-called Pull Together campaign against the Enbridge Northern Gateway pipeline back between 2013 and 2016 that achieved a resounding victory. It was 7 nations that came together, and they all wanted to launch a legal challenge. So we ran a campaign for the 7 of them as under one umbrella, and raised close to $1 million for them, and they ended up winning in court, and that pipeline was never built. And so that's something that's really heartwarming and rewarding when it happens. We have also worked with Cree Nations in the Peel region in the Yukon to protect this whole watershed of the Peel River, which is intact in terms of industrial development. Obviously, it has been inhabited by indigenous people for many thousands of years, and now it is 84% protected from mining development, which is what the nations wanted. And it also enforced the nation's treaty rights under a modern day treaty. So that was another really important case. Right now, for the past 14 years, we've been working with Beaver Lake Cree Nation in the oil sands in Alberta, and they're still on track. It took them 14 years and counting to even get to the main hearing in their case, which would be next year, because Canada and the provinces are constantly throwing up obstacles. They try every kind of delay in the book. They bring immense amount of legal muscle to fight these nations, and even with our help, it's millions and millions of dollars, so it takes them a long time to be able to get to court. And we're really happy today. We're actually, to this very day, we are celebrating a major milestone at the Supreme Court of Canada for Beaver Lake Cree. It just happened this morning. So in terms of they're getting some advanced costs from the government, that will help them bring their case to court. So
how can people get involved with your organization?
Well, we invite everybody to visit our website, which is raventrust.com, and explore our work. There is a lot of media, like video clips and graphics that tell the stories of these campaigns. There is a drop-down menu that shows which nations we are working with, and you can go and explore each particular campaign. And then if you're so moved, you can also donate to these campaigns, and 100% of the money you give to a particular campaign will go to Indigenous litigation.
What does the phrase delivering democracy mean to you?
Absolutely. So delivering democracy to me, it has a multi-layered meaning. And in Canada specifically, and as it relates to our mission, Canada is a constitutional democracy, which includes respecting the Constitution, and Indigenous rights are part of the Canadian Constitution in Section 35. So Raven's work contributes to delivering democracy by assisting nations in accessing justice and enforcing that section of the Constitution. And then beyond that, democracy is also what we all do and how we all live together at the grassroots level. So delivering democracy in that sense means to me exercising solidarity with populations that are marginalized, including Indigenous peoples, and becoming an agent of democracy in our own right, not just waiting for the government to do something.